about to have weight loss surgery or you are new to the weight loss surgery journey, let me be the first one to tell you that there are some things your bariatric team has not told you about that you may experience. And trust me, it is gonna rock your world. Post gastric sleeve, and there are a lot of things that I have discovered on my own journey that I did not find out from my bariatric team. I found out through my own lived experience or through other people's experience as I share my journey here on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. With that being said, I think it's important that you know some things that you may or may not run into on your own journey. So in today's video, let's talk about a bunch of things that you may not be aware of that you should know on your weight loss surgery experience. But first, if you're new here, hey girl, hey, my name is Janae and I make a lot of content focused on fitness, wellness, and self-development and helping you and I live our best healthy and active lives. So if that sounds like something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I post a lot of different content over there. Like this video if you are embarking on your weight loss surgery journey, and comment down below and let me know if you know your surgery date or what was your surgery date. Let's see if you can find your surgery twin. What procedure did you have? How's your journey going? Let's share some things in the comments below. So since today is Wednesday, I already mentioned on my post tab on my YouTube channel that Wednesdays will be dedicated to the weight loss surgery GLP-1 girlies. And even though all of my weight loss, wellness, self-development, fitness tips are for all of the girlies, as a weight loss surgery GLP-1 girly herself, I just want to make sure that you guys are getting a little bit of extra special attention. And comment down below and let me know if there's something that you want me to touch on. I do have a weight loss surgery playlist with a bunch of videos already there, but if you don't see something in there, let me know. I can address it. And so this list is no fault to your bariatric surgeon, clinic, or team. Majority of them may not have had weight loss surgery themselves, and they may not be following up with their patients every year. Some patients will drop off the face of the earth. Some people will follow up. Some things may not be discussed. Since they are not bariatric patients, they may not know these things, and you find out these things through your own lived experience or, just sharing your journey, finding it out on the internet, sharing it with your friends, whatever the case may be. So don't take any frustration out on your team. They may just not know. So let's get into a bunch of things that you need to be prepared for weight loss surgery. So for starters, we are girlies here. This is a girly channel. So with us, your cycle will change, and that may come with a bunch of hormonal changes, period. Now, what and how and, the specifics, who knows, because all of our bodies are different. For me specifically, my cycle didn't change until about 18 months into my journey. I never had any abnormal situations going on anyway, but about 18 months in, I started realizing that I was getting crazy PMS symptoms before my cycle started. I would get crazy cramps and it would be super heavy and liquidy, maybe a little TMI, but we're all girlies here. In the beginning couple of days, and then the period poo would come, all of these things was happening, and it was a good year and a half into my journey. So your hormones, period, may change, which will affect your period. So if you're not into cycle syncing and seeing what your body is doing, I have an Oura Ring, which tracks my cycles, my body temperature. And the Oura Ring also has the Natural Cycles app. So I just pay attention to my cycle, what my body is doing. Sometimes I gain weight right before my period. Sometimes I get super hungry right after. I don't have any type of appetite. I'm my lowest weight. Both numbers are fake. We tend to flip out about these times. This is why it's important to pay attention to what your body is doing so that, and that you're not freaking out on your own journey. And speaking of hormones changing, we all have estrogen, this will dump into your system a lot. So the mood swings may be crazy. This may also affect your sex drive, whether it increases or decreases. I experience the decrease, unfortunately. As a married woman, it's very unfortunate, but everything's all good. But these things will happen, could happen. So you may want to be aware of these things. Something that I often hear a lot is that because of the hormone changes, you may also experience acne and different breakouts. I didn't experience any face acne, but for some reason I experienced a lot of back acne. It has since cleared up, but it's still something that has taken me for a surprise. Another thing, you are going to stall. And we know about stalls, but you're going to stall immediately after surgery. That 2-week, 3-week, 4-week stall that happens, it is a thing. And you're freaking out thinking, I just had my stomach cut open. I'm barely doing anything and I'm stalling, or I may even be gaining weight. What's happening? Remember, you just had a very traumatic experience happen to your body. Your body is still swollen. Your body just been pumped with a bunch of fluids. You're not having proper bowel movements. You're not getting enough water, enough food, enough nutrients. You're in starvation mode, like really, really, really badly. So remember that. Give your body grace. It's trying to figure out what just happened. And it's new normal. So the stalls will happen, but what I tell people is trust the process. Trust the process. Go into it with full faith, and it's going to work out as long as you do what it is that you're supposed to do. The stall will break itself. The stall will break itself, you guys. So don't trip. I have a bunch of videos on my page already talking about stalls, how to break a stall, how I broke my own stall, other ways to track your weight loss journey. This is the time to start figuring out other ways that you can track your weight loss journey. So think about that. Stalls are normal. It's going to happen, especially when it happens immediately. Here's another thing that may happen. Your stomach may make some crazy noises. Why? I don't know whether it's digesting something or not, whether you're hungry or you're not. Like, this never really happened to me, but once or twice. Sometimes it happens to people all the time. But when it did happen to me, I'm like, what is going on? And it may be so loud that other people hear it. Don't trip. It's normal. It happens to us all, but just something to be aware of. And another bodily thing, you probably will be freezing. The bariatric burr is a real thing. It's not a myth. I get so cold, and it almost happened to me instantly. Like, dropping the weight, being in a smaller body, I don't know what it is, which is why y'all always see me in long sleeves. As you watch any of my Discipline Diaries, my vlog series, these sit down videos, I'm always in sweats. I'm always in sweaters. I'm always in long sleeves. I'm always wearing socks because I am always cold, and everybody in my house thinks I'm bugging. No, I'm freezing. My husband finally got me a queen size heated blanket. Love it. I have a mini heater. Love it. I will link some things down for y'all if you find it to be helpful, because yeah. Here's another thing that your surgeon may not have told you, but you are most likely not going to lose 100% of your excess weight. My bariatric clinic told me this. They told me straight up that for VSG, for the gastric sleeve, you're probably going to lose 60 to 70% of your excess weight. And the excess weight will look different for us all. We all have different starting weights, different heights, age, gender, all the things. 60 to 70% for VSG, 70 to 80% for R&Y, and 80 to 90%, I believe, for like the Sadie. But still, you may not lose 100% of your excess weight. Honestly, only 5% of people lose 100% of their excess weight. So don't trip and don't stress your body and stress yourself and have unrealistic goals and expectations for weight loss surgery without knowing these things. And here's the thing, anything that I address in this video, bring it back to your team and talk to them about it if it's really shocking to you. Since we're on the topic of weight, there is a thing where a lot of us get to our lowest weight. We will drop down to the lowest weight and then we will gain weight back. My bariatric clinic did tell me about this. They described it as a J, right? Like you would drop down to your lowest weight and then you will kind of come back up and just coast right on out. They say you may gain back 10 to 15% of the weight that you lost. That percentage may sound like a lot, may happen for you, may not, but at the end of the day, you may not stay at that lowest weight. Your body may not want to stay at that lowest weight. And sometimes we freak out and we trip about that. I necessarily don't claim that as weight regain if you do gain about 10 to 15% because it's a statistical thing. But if you are going above that 15%, then maybe you are experiencing some regain. You need to figure out what it is that you're doing on your journey, get back with your team, make sure nothing is going wrong. And if you need another weight loss tool like a GLP-1 or a pill, get it. Something else that even I discovered on my own bariatric journey is that your bariatric surgeon and your bariatric registered dietitian may tell you two different things. This happened to me. They gave me a list of foods that I need to be hitting, a list of like calories, a list of macros. And then I go and I talk to my bariatric registered dietitian and she's like, no, or yes, or maybe, or tweak it, or something like that. Even when it comes down to your goal weight. So I remember my bariatric team, they told me that I needed to be at 140. I told that to my bariatric registered dietitian and she's like, that's pretty low. You have to remember and factor in your loose skin. If you get it all cut off, you may end up being underweight. So I understand what they're saying, but like these are just things that you need to take into consideration. PCM and regular doctor may say something different from the both of them. What I would do if I were you is remember everyone's specialty. Bariatric surgeon, you're there to cut me open, sew me back, make sure my organs are straight. Registered dietitian, you specialize in food. My family care doctor takes care of the whole body of me. If I need to see a certain specialist, then that is who I see for that specific issue. So if you're getting conflicting information, try to remember that. Something else that you may need to be aware of is that you may develop some type of food allergy. For me specifically, I became lactose intolerant. And it was the craziest thing because it didn't happen until about maybe a year into my journey, specifically with like protein shakes and just all the protein products. Like it really started tearing up my stomach and I couldn't understand why. And I continued to take Gas X until I started to just listen to my body. Once I moved to more lactose-free products, my body is fine now. So now my milk is lactose-free. Most of the time I can get away with regular Greek yogurt because the process to make Greek yogurt already removes the lactose that's in it, but they do have lactose-free Greek yogurt. They have lactose-free cottage cheese. I mean, pretty much anything that you need that is dairy. You don't have to just eliminate dairy if that is not something that you want to do, but you may need to find some type of alternative. Speaking of food, your taste buds may change. Don't stock up on a bunch of products pre-surgery because after surgery, you may not like any of that stuff, and that stuff that we need is expensive. That is down to the protein shakes, the regular food, your vitamins, I mean, all of it. For me, something that I suffer from is that everything is too sweet for me. Like, you know how you have those water packets? They're supposed to be mixed with like 16 ounces of water. If I do that, and sometimes I do, it is too sweet. I have to mix it with like 30 to 40 ounces of water for it to like, be dialed down. And so that is something that you may experience. And speaking of water, you may not be able to tolerate plain water anymore. I don't know what it is because this has affected me greatly. I don't know what it is about plain water. I cannot stand the taste of it. And I used to be a gallon of water a day type of girl before weight loss surgery. Not anymore. I can only do plain water if I'm working out. If I'm running like something like that, I can do like a cup here or there, but most of the time it has to be flavored, whether I'm putting some type of fruit in it, some type of water enhancer, electrolyte. As long as there's some type of taste in it, I can do it. But plain water, and here's the thing, like when it comes to plain water, some people say to try, if you're into bottled waters, try different types of bottled waters, whether that's spring water, alkaline water, something like that. But even still with me, I can't. Pain. Let's talk about pain. You may experience pain in weird places that you probably never experienced pain before. What I hear from a lot of people, I never experienced this, but tailbone pain specifically, or they have that sciatica type of pain. we don't have the padding like we used to anymore. And so a lot of people experience that tailbone pain, and it's a weird thing for them. Not only will you experience pain, but you also may get random bruising in places. And it's not like you're like a klutz now, you're bumping into anything, but you'll realize that you will bruise easily. Most of the time that's due to an iron deficiency. So make sure that you're staying on top of your labs. This isn't something that I experience too much, and I also have really good labs. But still, just if something is happening, if something is coming up in your journey, always go back to your doctor and talk to them about it. Something that I personally experience is the gag reflex. Mine is so sensitive now, specifically when it comes to taking my vitamins. I never had an issue with taking pills. Like, no matter what the size is, I've never had an issue with taking pills. After weight loss surgery, I had to rely on my chewable vitamins from Berry Melts. And they also have like a caplet size. So it's a smaller size. It has a smoother coating. So now I have been transitioning into the pills, but it's not like your typical pill like most vitamins are. It's still like a hybrid version because I am so sensitive, and a lot of people end up being sensitive and with the gag reflex after weight loss surgery. Your mental health, and this should have been the first one. It's honestly the biggest one. Weight loss surgery is honestly the most extreme thing that you can do to lose weight. And one thing I tell people, I stress to people, especially because I have discovered this on my own journey, is that it is more than a weight loss journey. It really, truly is a mental journey. And if you suffer from traumatic experience, from food addictions, from, just different things in your life, then you may want to rely on some type of therapy, use some type of therapy as you're going through this journey. Don't just do the psych eval and that's it. Because a lot of us have psych evaluations that we have to do to even get approved for weight loss surgery. No, go beyond that at any point in your journey and get therapy, because this is to be successful long term, which is what we all want to do. This is truly a mental journey that's happening, and you want to make sure that you are getting right here, that you are breaking a lot of old habits in honestly a short period of time. A lot of people have been obese for their entire lives and have to immediately make this 180 and become a different person, and that might trip you up. For me, I had 12 years of bad habits before I got weight loss surgery. That's still a long time to just become a different person in 2 years. And I've done a lot of work in these last 2 years, but there's still more work to do. On the social level, another thing that you may not be prepared for is that you may lose some people. Bariatric divorce is a thing. Losing friends is a thing. Like, some things will happen and it's triggered by your weight loss journey. And it's not specifically because of the weight loss, but because of the person that you're becoming. A lot of people will try to humble you and tell you to be humble. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget who you are. And it's like, who? The person who wasn't taking care of themselves? The person who let other people walk all over me? I mean, what is it that you're trying to imply and say here? Because I am becoming the best version of myself, healthy internally and externally. Why wouldn't you want that for me? And so a lot of people find that they end up losing friends, family, relationships because of that. And so I don't want that to be something that like makes you afraid, but you may even go into your journey not having a strong support system. Find your support online. A lot of us do. But just so that you can be aware of these things, because your team may not tell you it. And there are a lot more things that I can possibly add to this list. And if you have experienced some things that I didn't touch on, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. But the last thing that I want to talk about is transfer addiction. And I may possibly do a separate video specifically about transfer addiction, but transfer addiction is so real and it happens to a lot of people. But here's the thing with it. We immediately think alcohol, which is why a lot of people like stay away from alcohol. And you may have even heard this from your own bariatric surgeon, but it can honestly be anything. It can be drugs, it can be sex, It can be working out. It can be shopping. It can be gambling. It can be a lot of different things. Like you had a food addiction and it has now transferred to something else. And I used to joke and say like, my transfer addiction is shopping. But honestly, I always used to be a shopper. Like always. But here's the thing. As I'm evolving in my journey, I personally don't feel like, at least in this current time, I still don't personally think that I had a food addiction. I use food as a coping mechanism. That was my issue, but I wasn't addicted to food. And who knows, maybe my thoughts on this may change, but at this point in time, that's how I feel about my own journey. And so when it comes to transfer addiction, I don't have anything to transfer to because I wasn't addicted to food. So I can drink alcohol and it's not an issue for me. Or I work out a lot. That's not a transfer addiction because that was something that was already in my past. It's documented on this YouTube channel. Like, I've always been a shopper. I've never gambled. So like these typical things that people, there's nothing that I can think of that, you know, is standing out to me as far as transfer addiction. But for a lot of people, it's a real thing. As always, I hope this video was thought-provoking for you, made you think about your own weight loss surgery experience if you already are post-op, and made you like just be mindful of some things as you're going into the journey. Again, if there's any topic that you want me to touch on, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon. That way you're notified every single time I post a new video. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram. On TikTok, I'm always hosting lives and answering your questions in a moment. And on Instagram, I'm super active in my stories. I do have a broadcast channel. They end up knowing the tea first, so make sure you follow me over there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.